However, for most competitors, this would be a day to rebuild, check over and repair damage to their cars. A full day of service time meant that many would be able to see to problems that they hadn't had time to fix properly, whilst others practically stripped and rebuilt the car just to be sure. The service park was a hive of activity, with banging, welding, grinding, contemplation, sweat and chatter the order of the day.
Our main focus is just normal preventative maintenance, like half rally, and we've just got a few things that we're checking out, checking clutch, gearbox parts, suspension and brakes, but we've really got no big major jobs for today.
We've had an issue with the speed differential between the first cars, i.e. in some cases Gerard, and the guys from the Philippines, Martin and Lou. So they've been running at times 2 hours behind each other. That's actually been more of a problem than any mechanical issues.
Yes, especially the suspension. That the roads are very rough, and we change all the suspension for the 4 days we have now.
Well, first, to do this rally and to run on the top, you must not love your car. If you love your car, you cannot drive that fast and eat all those noise. Very, 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 very hard for the mechanical.
A few bends.
Working on the car every day.
You know, a few bends here and there, but like, you know, that stuff out there, that could pound the living stuff out of anybody.
Car's receiving its attention. She's talking again. She says it's okay. I forgive you.
Are you going to push?
I'll take it easy a little bit tomorrow, but we'll start to put a little bit more into it now. You know, I've been taking it very cool. We're driving about 70. I'll push it to about 80.
Having had a chance to repair the cars, the crews would face 3 stages from Amboseli to Lake Naivasha in Kenya's Great Rift Valley. The first stage took the crews back to Il Bissel via a longer loop than on the way into Amboseli. Stage 2 was a fast section from Kajiado to the aptly named Corner Baridi on the edge of the Rift Valley. Stage 3 took the drivers into the Rift, past Mount Suswa. Then a short transport section past Mount Longonot to Lake Naivasha. Overnight rain once again changed the face of the first stage, with running water in the road and intermittent rain showers changing the conditions as each crew passed through. Ian Duncan was once again the pace setter, this time 3.5 minutes faster than the next fastest car of Gerard Marcy. Having fitted a new clutch and starter motor in Amboseli, the Mustang was back on song, and he was steadily increasing his lead over Voldegaard. Voldegaard got lost for 2 minutes on the first stage and was complaining that the new suspension was a little soft, so he had needed to back off over the rougher sections. The conditions were tricky, with mud catching out the unwary. Gerard Marcy was second fastest and still marching up the leaderboard. He was 5th and had his eyes on 4th place. Steve Perez had a frustrating morning. Firstly, the battery was flat and the car wouldn't start. They had to be pushed out of Parc Ferme, then they had complete trip meter failure in the first stage, and while Stefan Parmander did his best to navigate, they still got lost for 10 minutes.
Lost a load of time in there. We went the wrong way. We tripped out. We just lost a stack of time.
Jeff Bell was having the drive of the rally in the much less powerful 180B. He was still holding on to 4th and consistently setting top 5 times. They had reduced the gap to Perez to just over 5 minutes by the Naivasha night stop. Marcy was quickest on the second stage from Kajiado to Corner Baridi. The stage was again very fast and smooth and offered a feast of incredible scenery for the drivers to enjoy. Voldegaard then took the honours on stage 3, but was only able to take back 5 seconds from Duncan and would end the day almost 12 minutes behind the leader. Duncan, for his part, was second fastest on both stages 2 and 3. Having taken so much time on the first stage, he was able to back off a little, but not by much. One of the biggest upsets of the day was Graham Alexander. He hit a mud hole and spun into a water hole. The car was beached with water up to the doors. Stefano Rocco stopped to assist, but couldn't help and nearly got stuck himself. Graham would lose over an hour and slipped down the leaderboard to 10th.
Have a bit of a spin in there. Unlucky, mate.
Thomas Floor also had an interesting first stage when a herd of giraffe ran across the road in front of him. He was forced to stop and then later understeered off the road and ended up hitting a tree. The damage was cosmetic and they were able to continue without any serious loss of time.
What happened? A tree came my way.
Jean-Pierre Mondron was in a tight battle with Steve Troman for 8th. The two Porsche drivers had been driving relatively cautiously. Jean-Pierre backed off completely on the third stage. Troman would win this day's battle, pulling out a 2-minute lead and also passing Mondron in the section. He was ecstatic with his Porsche, once again having a smooth, trouble-free day. Martin Aguirre and Luis Mirasol had their first major problem of the rally after they hit a tree stump, ripping the oil pipe off the damper reservoir. They made it to service and were fortunate that there was no other damage. Jean-Louis Jouchalt was happy just to get the 504 Coupe through all 3 stages. After a torrent of troubles throughout the course of the rally, every stage completed was a bonus. Nick Mason and Adrian Grinstead were another crew experiencing daily problems. On this occasion, they also got bogged down in the mud, then broke a rear suspension mounting, which sent them flying off the road again. They were lying in 28th position. The large Citroën DS21 of Frederick Donau was running well. The only major problem of the day was getting stuck in the first section. Otherwise, the crew were loving every minute of the event and always arrived with huge smiles at the end of each day. Heavy rain showers in Naivasha meant the service crews would be swimming around the service park at the end of the day, making working conditions very uncomfortable. The longest day of the rally, with a total distance of 629 kilometres, day 8 would be a challenge for everyone. The first stage took the drivers down the beautiful escarpment overlooking Lakes Bogoria and Baringo. The outside temperature could rise as high as 40 degrees on this stage. Then the longest stage of the event from Loroc to Rumaruti, 149 kilometres. A true safari challenge where outright speed could cost you valuable positions, as punches on the sharp rocks were almost guaranteed. The third stage would take the drivers back to Soisambu and the private ranch of Lord and Lady Delamere. Duncan was the first to puncture on the downhill escarpment. He was forced to run on the flat until he could find a suitable place to change the tyre. He lost 2 minutes 20 seconds to the chasing Voldegaard. Then on the long second stage, he punctured again, losing a further 6 minutes. Voldegaard was fastest on the first 2 sections. He managed to get through without puncturing and must have been delighted when he passed Duncan in the second stage. He was now first on the road, a position he hadn't enjoyed since the Vipingo prologue. Gerard Marcy was second fastest on both stages. He changed the damper setting for the second 149-kilometre section and also avoided punches that were the order of the day. Steve Perez had a trouble-free run conserving the car. He was third fastest on the long second section. Stefan even had time to enjoy the